This meeting is being recorded.
All right. So first of all, I'd like to say thank you, Meta, for giving me this opportunity to share some key points. Just going to mute everybody if that's okay, to share some key points about a little bit about my journey and why I am passionate about female financial empowerment. One of my favorite quotes is, set a goal to become a millionaire, not for the money, but what it will make of you in order to achieve it, who you'll have to become, and the skills that you'll have to learn. And then it goes on to say, this is the great Jim Rohn, it doesn't matter, you can give it all away and do it again because you've become the person that knows how to create it. And I think that's just so empowering as well for me. It is always about the person that you become. So very briefly, I am from a place called Poole in Dorset on the south coast. I am 61. I've been an entrepreneur since I was 22, so it's been a long journey. 22 years in Paris with bricks and mortar businesses in hospitality, and then I had co-steered a very large manufacturing and tailoring fashion business with my ex-partner. In 2010, we separated, and it was very disruptive and challenging. And even though I was co-running the business with my ex-partner, things did not go well, and it left me very financially vulnerable. Now, I had many years' experience as a business owner, but previously I'd always had a huge amount of money to invest into property before, and I didn't have that anymore. So I was looking for solutions, and I needed solutions fast. I retrained at that point as a styling and image consultant. I thought it would be fun to take people for shopping and get paid for it. But what I realized as a businesswoman, that was a vehicle which would never allow me to provide properly for myself and my family, and I needed to do something else as well. So at that time, my clients were asking me to recommend certain beauty and wellness products alongside the styling. I wasn't convinced about anything that I could recommend really with authenticity and integrity, but I was curious. And very shortly after that, someone recommended a particular type of technology which could be used on the face non-invasively, and that people could use in the privacy of their own homes. And I saw that it brought results to my skin, and I decided that I was going to take that part of the business very seriously, not just because the products were results driven and they also had integrity, but because the business model was efficient and it would create long-term, substantial, dependable income for myself and my family. That business side of things now expands in over 20 countries around the world. It has been a blessing and a journey. I have had successes and many lessons, but I have, in the process of that, unlocked a real formula of how to create long-term, steady and dependable income, no matter what our business is. On the side of that, some women started to come to me at the beginning of the year in different businesses, so finance, therapy, health and wellness, tourism, who are all solopreneurs or entrepreneurs, and they were really wanting to make more money with what they did, that they had experience with, they were passionate about, but they still weren't earning the kind of income that they wanted for themselves and their families. So on the back of that, I created a 90-day peak performance program and started training and working with women to help them move that economic needle forward. And the results have been absolutely spectacular. And again, I'm so grateful to be able to have been a cooperative component in their journey. So today, if you've got a pen and paper or something to write with, grab it now. I'm just going to share a couple of slides, which will make things a little bit clearer. Okay, so just put it in present mode. All right, sorry, I'm Still a bit better with PowerPoint. So this is the theme of this is about knowing your worth, a wealth and prosperity workshop. And so, as I said, this is me. There it is. Set a goal to become a millionaire, for what it will make of you in order to achieve it, the skills you'll have to learn, and the person you'll have to become by one of the greatest success coaches in the world, Jim Rohn.
We can't see anything.
Oh, really?
Well, I can't see. Can anybody see?
See my slides? Okay, let's try again. Still can't see it?
Just a white screen. Oh, there. Yeah, good.
See it now? Okay, fantastic. Yeah. So I have trained thousands of women, particularly, and some men in the last 14 years. And over that time, both individually and collectively, right? Over that time, I've been able to identify a very small handful of common denominators why women in particular struggle financially in business. I mean, struggle's a sort of like an objective word, you know, or they're not, let's put it this way, that they're not 100% satisfied financially with where they are in their business. Okay. Now, if you are listening to this call and you are 100% satisfied with the kind of income that you're generating, this probably isn't for you, right? But my guess is that you could be even satisfied with where you are, but you're eager for more. And the reason being is that the income that we earn is just a reflection of the number of people that we help. That's all it is. So first of all, we can immediately dispel the fact by having an income goal or a money goal is in some way not good, right? I mean, we're business women, whether it be just somebody that trades our time for money or that we have an organization or whatever it might be, it doesn't matter. We're still business women. We're still self-reliant and self-made. And so it really is then about understanding that there's no guilt or shame attached to wanting to make, for example, at least 6 figures a year after tax, right? I mean, what you can do a lot of good for yourself, a lot of good for the family, and a lot of good for the world by making more money. So I see it as a healthy goal, not something that we should shy away from. So the challenges have been often, I'm not good enough, I don't deserve it, or I don't do enough. Constantly criticizing and beating ourselves up. For the most part, that comes from our childhood programming, right? So what we saw, heard, and experienced around money before the age of 7 will hardwire the neurotransmitters in our brain. And that neurotransmitter will literally be our kind of like blueprint for the rest of our lives, unless we decide to change it. And we can do that because we have something called neuroplasticity. And with practice and persistence and repetition, we can change our minds about money. But there is some work involved in the practice and repetition. And that's the underscore bit. Also, women tend to be people pleasers. They're afraid of what people might think and say. Well, let me tell you this, at the grand old age of 61, people are actually more worried about what you're going to say about them than they're thinking about what they're going to say about you. Okay, so, you know, that's something as well that we have to really work. You know, we're afraid of rejection. We're afraid of being criticized. So that's a huge thing. And then the other thing is that the people who surround us with, do we surround ourselves with cheerleaders, with people who uplift us, with people who support us, with people who inspire us? And as I said, I work with many women who have, a ton of talent. And yet they're maybe with a partner or a spouse that doesn't support them, and it's tragic to see some of the responses in that. So to be really selective about who we surround ourselves with. There's lots and lots of scientific theories around that. You know, with the sum of the 5 people that we spend most of our time with financially, I'm talking about, and so on. But as this is just a very brief overview, these are the key things I think hold people back, including me. It took me a while to reprogram those neurotransmitters about money, believe me. But I was determined. I was absolutely determined when I decided I was capable and I was willing to do the work. So there's a solution, right? I'm not a therapist, I'm a solutionist. I love finding solutions and making them simple, applicable to everyone, and making it a step-by-step process. So the 3-step solution, I'm really clear on what I want financially. on a monthly basis and why I want it. Okay, so I have an exercise I do. I want this because, right? And that is the absolute cornerstone of changing our mind about our worth and how much you're going to charge. No matter what, I want to make clear $10,000, pounds or euros per month after tax, right? I'm going to do this with the money. I'm going to do that. I'm going to give it to this charity. I'm going to do this for my children's education, whatever it might be. Okay, so we need a why behind it. Then the training comes in a two-part process. Develop a rock solid confidence that we are capable and that it's okay to want to be rich and wealthy and free, and then commit to the program of a daily action plan. Okay, so it's clarity, confidence, and commitment. So what does that really look like on a daily basis, right? Because my thing is it's like consistency. I mean, you girls are all in sport and nutrition. It's not about eating healthily once a week. You have to do it a little bit every single day, right? Consistency is everything. And this is where I would say 95% of people fall down. They just don't do enough small actions consistently to make a difference. So the clarity is, what is my freedom number? Right? Somebody said that to me years ago. And I was like, my freedom number, what's that? And they said, okay, change this. How would you like to turn your yearly income into your monthly income? I was like, there's a good number to work towards. That sounds like fun. So what's your freedom number? I think that a study shows that 90% of women never make more money than their fathers, right? So I was just like, wow, that's another interesting stat. And apparently, if you stop 100 people on the street and say, what's your freedom income goal, only about 2% people would actually be able to tell you straight off the bat. So you've got to get clear on how much you want financially and why you want it, what you're going to do with that money for yourself, your family, and the world. Okay. Then the second thing is, to identify the blocks that limit us about money. You know, what did I see, hear, and experience about money as a child that could have had a negative sense of self-worth? Okay, so this is an exercise that we can all do in literally I probably haven't got time now. I wanted to do it live with you guys and get feedback, but I'm aware of the fact that it's now, I've got 4 minutes and I'm nearly done. So write down, what would you do with the first thing? What would I do with it? For me, the family in the world with that freedom number. Okay, have fun with it. You know, just like, I mean, I said to someone once, your freedom number's 2,000 a month. I said, add a 0. Well, guess what? Her income multiplied by 10 within 6 months because she just added a 0 and started having fun with, just playing with the idea. Okay, so this is a really powerful exercise. Okay, the next thing is, what were the things that I heard about money as a child? Now, my father is a very successful businessman, but my mother never worked. So I had a real kind of conflict. And in the end, what I realized was that I had an underlying kind of like self-belief that women didn't work and make money. It was always the men that provided. Hogwash, right? So that's my conditioning. I mean, everybody's is very, very different, but those things, money doesn't grow on trees. You only get money when you work really, 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 really hard. Rich people are jerks or whatever, so there's going to be some stuff there. That's okay. That's okay. You don't have to start blaming your parents or the people that raised you. They were doing the best they could with what they knew because they were just passing on what they were taught by their parents, right? So that's fine. It's just the way it is, but we can make a decision as grown up conscious adults that we can change that money mindset if we want to make more money, but it has to start with mindset. I believe, and scientific proof shows, that the results are 98% mindset and 2% action. It really is that much. Okay, and I'm kind of like testimony to that as well. So what could I choose to believe instead, which would help me in order to start sowing different seeds and building different neural pathways around money? And the third thing is, what are the different things I could do today to work towards that freedom number? I call my freedom number my North Star. It's a bit like getting in a car with a GPS, with a sat nav. You need an address to actually tell the sat nav where you want to go. So it gives you a point of focus. And then everything builds out under that. Okay, so let's put it like in a mind map. You put your money in the middle. And then you put all the ideas you could have that would generate that kind of income. Like, I'll give you an example. I'm working with a therapist. She's been doing one-to-one coaching for 15 years. It's a very successful practice, but she's exhausted. She wants to scale herself. So we did this exercise. So she wants to make 15,000 a month. So we put ebook, audiobook, build a course, do workshops. We started to build a whole strategy, you know, build an online following, paid partnerships, sell products, everything that aligned with her qualities, values, and skills. And we put that together around the North Star of her freedom number. And then we started by taking action on what seemed to be the easiest thing to do at the time. We didn't start, you know, becoming like a, you know, sort of like some amazing course creator in 5 minutes. No, she'd actually already written a book. So we decided she'd do the audio version, which could leverage herself a little bit more, right? So that exercise is so powerful. And we keep that literally, we do a big version of it. We put it on our wall. First of all, our vision board, and then next thing, our plan. It works like a dream. And my role is to guide people through that. So these are the books I recommend, just to finish, which will enormously help you. I've read all of them several times. I've got them in Kindle, audio, and hardback, and I spend at least an hour every single day working on my mindset. I'm an avid writer and journaler, and these books are amazing. They're not fun books to read. You can read, and every time I read them again, I hear new things. The understanding goes deeper. It like osmosis. It seeks into your mind. So you kind of become saturated with the prosperity thinking, and that's really the work that we have to do. Bit like, you know, I don't know, going into the gym or learning how to dance, right? Certain steps. Let's say, for example, you're learning how to waltz, you know, so the first time you're awkward and you're not very good and you have to do it mechanically, but gradually it just becomes part of who you are. So here's a few reviews from my amazing clients. I'm not exaggerating when I say it's been life-changing. It's been life-changing for me too. I'm not going to read them all out, but I'm so blessed and grateful for the amazing women that I work with, that I've helped them transform their lives financially and still continue to do so. So this is my offer. Let's have a chat, completely free. I'd love to help, even if it's just, you know, half an hour, 45 minutes, where I can break down and give you some pointers of how to enjoy more financial prosperity in your life, more joy, more fun, more choice, and more freedom, and to really be able to have that mindset where you can go out and confidently ask for the level of income that you want, in alignment with your own worth. So that's me. Thank you so much, Meta. I hope that's been helpful. And yeah, if anybody's got any questions, please fire away.
Ça va, j'ai pas tout compris, mais j'ai vu que la vidéo avait été enregistrée. Si jamais mon conjoint il parle anglais, il pourra tout retraduire.
Oui, alors ce que je vais faire... Oh, attendez, je vais juste...
You're not gonna translate the whole talk, no?
One second.